We weren't there 24 hours, and he died in my arms in the water.
I was fine for the next few months, and I'm still fine. I miss him, but I don't really cry.
They're okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel guilt at times. All those feelings are normal parts of grief.
I just fell apart, really, pretty much, and I needed to make sure somebody could be there for my son. I got Nick signed up for Wave Riders because I couldn't be a support for him. Unfortunately, I was severely traumatized by what happened, and he was my only sibling. But I knew I needed to get some support for Nick, and he needed to be in a safe place where he could talk and grieve.
It was a horrible experience. I wouldn't want anybody else to go through it. Like at first, when I saw him, I did cry for a long period of time. And when we were still in Jamaica, sometimes I did. So it was hard.
Children will grieve throughout their childhood. Adults can express their feelings and express their grief to other people. Children don't really understand what their feelings are, that they can feel angry, and that could be grief. And how do they cope with that anger?
The community hospice is helping young children and teenagers who have lost a loved one develop skills they need to cope with grief.
We have several programs. We have Big Hurts, Little Tears, and that's for 3 and 4-year-olds with parents. It's really hard for 3 and 4-year-olds to understand death and that it's permanent. And through a lot of expressive arts, in games and stories and puppets, families together come to this support group and learn how to model, how to answer their children's questions. And it's a very gentle program, and it's a lot of fun.
Nick DiLorenzo, who lost his uncle, joined the Wave Riders program for teenagers, and it has helped him deal with his grief.
They pretty much just let me talk about like everything that happened, and that made me feel a little bit better about just like what happened in other families that went through the same thing, like the same close relative losing thing. It made me feel more open and allowed me to grieve a little bit.
Kids begin to feel safe in the group, and they ask questions that they normally might not ask a parent because they're afraid to. The parent is grieving, they watch a parent grieve, and they don't want to make them cry. And so in group, they feel really it's okay to ask the questions.
I could not be there for him because I was in a bad state for myself. I was out of work, but I knew I needed to get my son support, and I knew where to go. And I knew the best place for him to be was at Wave Riders.
Community hospice is amazing. It's helped me a lot through everything.